issued for Thailand's former Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra after failing to turn up to the verdict of her negligence trial.
It's 9 o'clock.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone out there. It is Friday, August the 25th, 2017. Thank you so much for tuning in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host for today, Quabila Harden. My guest for today has not arrived in the studio, but until he gets here, I will do some announcements. I hope that everyone has had a very blessed week. It is week 2 for the students in public schools and week 1 for the college students. We all survived. Well, class is not officially over just yet, so hopefully by 3 to 5 o'clock, everyone will have survived today. If you'd like to share your stories from the week, from your first day, first 2 weeks of school, please give us a call at 870-277-1080. I would love to hear how your week has been going. In the meantime, I'm going to read a few announcements that we have going on around the city. Most of these are taking place in September, but it's never too early to become aware of what is going on. All right. This first event is called Plugged In Youth Summit, and this is hosted by some individuals, Chelsea Chapman and Dante Barker, who are volunteers with the city of Jonesboro. They have been working very hard to create programs and activities that cater to the youth in the city of Jonesboro, especially to the underrepresented, the underprivileged youth in the city. This Plugged In Youth Summit will take place on September 14th, 2017 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the campus of Arkansas State University. They don't have an actual room listed. More than likely it's going to be on the 3rd floor somewhere in the student union, and you can reach out to Miss Chelsea at cchapman, CHAPMAN @jonesboro.org, and her phone number is 870-336-7161. Again, she volunteers with the city of Jonesboro in the mayor's office. Chelsea and Dante Barker, again, they have been working tirelessly to put on programs to help the youth become more engaged in the city in which they live and to give them encouragement. I do know, without giving away too much of what's going on at the youth summit, they're going to have speakers from various occupations come and talk to the youth about how they can excel in whatever path they choose to go after high school, after college, or whatever their choice is. There is no age limit on this flyer, so stay tuned for more information or reach out to Chelsea or Dante. You can also reach Dante at dbarker, DBARKER @jonesboro.org, or Chelsea at cchapman @jonesboro.org, and they'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Alrighty. On September 16th, 2017 at 12 p.m., there will be a play. This will be the 3rd play so far that has come to Jonesboro. Hosted, this is one of the Harold Massey productions. It's called To Hell and Back. When life takes a turn, who do you turn to? This will be again September 16th at 12 p.m. at the Epic Center, which is at 1899 County Road 33, which is on Hasbrook Road. Admission is $10 in advance and $15 at the door. For more information, you can give us a call here at the studio, 870-277-1080. This production is sponsored by KLEK 102.5 FM. Again, this is a Harold Massey production, a stage play called To Hell and Back. When life takes a turn, who do you turn to? on September 16th at 12 p.m. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the same day as the A-State game, A-State versus UAPB. So you go to the play, go to the game. After that, there's an after party hosted by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Attention members and guests. Animal Instinct post-game party. This will be hosted at Legends Barbecue Smokehouse, which is located at 1025 West Johnson Avenue in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is September 16th from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Admission is $20, and this is a 21 and up event, and you must have your ID. Portion of the proceeds to benefit the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Again, this is Animal Instinct post-game party, A-State versus UAPB. So go to the play at 12, go to the game, and then come out to the after party. A full day of fun. Alrighty, we have another community event going down in September. It is called Touch a Truck. $5 a person or $20 per family with a max of 6. September 23rd, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the NEA Baptist Hospital, the clinic side parking lot. This is sponsored by Nettleton East and NEA Baptist Charitable Foundation. What they're going to have is a bunch of different vehicles from, say, the fire, police, ambulance, and other individuals who choose to bring their vehicles out, and they're going to allow children to come around and interact with the people that drive these vehicles. They may even have dump trucks or other city vehicles. This is going to be a very fun event and a charitable event, so you don't want to miss out on this. Again, it's called Touch a Truck. September 23rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the NEA Baptist Hospital clinic side parking lot. For more information, you can look them up on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. At Facebook is Touch a Truck Jonesboro, Instagram is Touch a Truck JB, and Twitter is TAT Jonesboro. Again, this is sponsored by Nettleton East and NEA Baptist Charitable Foundation. If you're not familiar with what the NEA Charitable Foundation does, please go to their website. They embody a bunch of different organizations that help individuals around the city. I know one in particular, they do a lot of cancer awareness and treatments, helping individuals with prescriptions. So they have a list of things that they help to fund. So go check out the NEA Charitable Foundation on their website. You can find it on the NEA Baptist Hospital website, and you can also find some information on their Facebook page. So you don't want to miss out on the Touch a Truck event. Alrighty. Coming up, now this one is in October. This is the second event. If you're not familiar with Mrs. Viola Turner, you need to become familiar with her. She is known for advocating against gun violence. Her son was murdered. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. We've had her on as a guest before, but we're definitely going to bring her back again to discuss her organization called Colors for a Cause. She founded this organization after her son was killed. She goes around to various public schools to talk about gun violence and just how to put the guns down and how to handle your issues in a different manner, and a variety of other things. This event that she's hosting, this is the second year, One Night with the Stars event, Saturday, October 23rd, 2017, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. It says, help us celebrate our children who are making an impact in our community. The special guests will be Dr. Aaron Livingston and Ennis Jackson, which is a police officer and former NFL Canadian football player. The banquet will be held at the Wolf Creek Clubhouse immediately after this event. The Night with the Stars event will be held at the on ASU's campus, 217 Olympic Drive, which is the Convocation Center. It will be in the lower auditorium floor, and then followed by a banquet at the Wolf Creek Clubhouse immediately after the event. For more information, you can give her a call at 870-816-8873 or 870-530-3699. 6068. You can look out for all of these flyers on the Kaylee K's Instagram page and our Facebook page. I try to make sure to post as many events as possible and as often as possible so that you all can be familiar with what's going on in the community so that you can show your support. And all of these events that I have mentioned, minus the play and the after party, they go to support. They are a nonprofit organization, so let's show our support, Jonesboro. Let's reach out and show these individuals that are putting on these events that we care about the community that we live in. And if anyone else out there has an event coming up, please let us know. If it's a community event, please give us a call, 870-277-1080, or email klek1025fm@gmail.com. Again, that is klek1025fm@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to get that on the air. Now, individuals that are hosting the Touch a Truck event, we will have them on. Hopefully we can get some students in here to talk about their involvement with this event. And there's so many more different things going on around town. I know that A-State United Way is going to be hosting a Up Till Dawn event, which also benefits St. Jude's Children's Hospital. CASA will be hosting a Wanna Dance event, and I am trying to get more information on that so that everyone can participate. Even if you can't really dance, all you need to do is put together a 2-minute routine, get your team of people together to raise donations. The money goes to a great cause. My guests text me and said that they're on their way. We're hoping they can get here soon and find their way. I would love to hear from you out there. Again, the phone number in the studio is 870-277-1080. I would love to hear from anyone out there that's listening or watching. Tell us how your week in school has been. Again, it's been 2 weeks for the public school students and 1 week for college students. We would love to hear what's going on. If you have a community event, please give us a call, 870-277-1080. Hello? I'm on the air. Huh? Across the street. Yes. I apologize, you all. I'm on the phone with my guest. He got lost. Yes. There are no cars in the parking lot. All right, y'all. If you have any community events, please give me a call at 870-277-1080. I apologize for the delay. I was trying to give directions. I am not the best at giving directions. Our guest should be in the studio very shortly. We will get started with our topic. Again, my guest is Mr. Shamal Carter. He works with Mid-South Health Systems, and he has also been doing quite a bit to try to help bridge gaps in the community by getting the families out and about, engaging in activities that encourage conversation and build on relationships. And maybe other people in the community, as they come together, they can get to know each other so that we can start becoming neighbors again. He'll be in here very shortly. So let me go back through some of these announcements again. Alrighty, so stage play. This is a Harold Massey production. It's called To Hell and Back. When life takes a turn, who do you turn to? September 16th at 12 p.m. at the Epic Center, which is located 1899 County Road 33, Hasbrook Road. $10 in advance and $15 at the door. This production is sponsored by Kaylee K 102.5 FM. Again, the play is called To Hell and Back. When life takes a turn, who do you turn to? September 16th at 12 p.m. $10 in advance and $15 at the door. You don't want to miss this event. And this play is on Saturday, September 16th. And again, the A-State versus UAPB game is also that day. So go to the play, go to the game, and then go to the after party hosted by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity. The after party is from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. at Legends Barbecue Smokehouse. $20 admission, $21 to get in with your ID. All right, so my guest has arrived. Good morning, Mr. Carter.
Good morning, good morning.
All right, so we only have 5 minutes left in this segment, so I'll let you first start off by introducing yourself with the microphone closer. Introducing yourself and tell everyone, what your title is and what you do and what you're trying to do in the community.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Shamal Carter. I'm the family support provider for Mid-South Health Systems. My job is purely to get out in the community and not only make our community aware of issues that our children are dealing with in the school systems, but to help them kind of navigate through the system and educate them on different things such as the individualized education program and a 504 plan, and just trying to get them to get the help they need so that our kids can be more successful in the community.
All right, so we really appreciate all the work that you've done so far. I've seen several flyers, and I've tried to mention, I didn't mention them by name, but we can talk about those a little bit later on, because I really want to get to the topic at hand, since we're a little behind on time right now. So go ahead and start telling us, what are some of the tests that students will face once they get in school, and then at what grade do they start?
Okay. Well, a lot of children, they begin to kind of find themselves, I say, around the second grade. Once they're in the second grade, they're kind of like, I guess that's when you kind of get the label of class clown. A lot of times, younger children, people state that children are just being children. As you get older, it's no longer children are being children, but children are being disruptive. Okay. And if the parents don't step in at the point where the school system says, my child is being disruptive, there's a possibility that your child could be sent to an alternative learning environment due to his disruptive behavior or her disruptive behavior. A lot of times we don't think of it being a big deal, but I personally am against alternative learning environments because of what it does. It's kind of like the system. It pushes you off in there, and if the parent doesn't say anything to help the child or help his 504 plan or his IEP plan based on what he's doing, then he gets pushed away. He gets passed along, and then once he graduates, he's been in alternative school, since the beginning. Once he graduates, he doesn't possess the things that he needs to be successful, nor does he have the ability, because he's been pushed through the system and not taught anything, because alternative learning environments are not grade based, but they're, I believe, from K through second grade and second through fourth, and then fifth through seventh. Like it's not individualized. It's a small group setting. Okay. So it makes it harder for your child to learn the things that he needs to learn.
Now we and I've had talks before with people who deal with discipline and other things, and other educators, and sometimes they'll say that a child's behavior is linked to maybe their learning or not learning or learning ability. Mm-hmm. And there are some teachers, I know teachers are not paid very well, and some teachers have a lot to deal with, mm-hmm. but there are some teachers who just do not pay attention to the child's individual needs, and they try to teach every child one way. So then you are going to have that child that acts out, and you don't know why. You think they're just misbehaving, but they have a real issue going on. So what can we do as a community and as parents, to become more actively involved in our child's education?
Well, first off, I will personally work with Jonesboro Public Schools. Okay. And I'm in there all the time. And I will say that they do work with not only us, but they work with the families, if the families are trying to go in and get the help that they need. The first thing I say, if your child has a behavior issue or have a mental illness, first thing you need to do at the beginning of the year, you need to request a review of your child's IEP plan or the 504 plan. The school district does have 30 days after you ask for it to comply with what you were asking for. Okay. Revisiting the IEP plan is important, because if over the summer your child has had some developments, he won't need the same assistance that he needed the year before. So they'll have to review it and revise it to what's going on right now. Parents, when it's 9 weeks, 9 weeks and you got to do the parent-teacher conference, be active, because a lot of times things get swept under the rug because nobody's asking. So you have counselors advocating, or you have people like myself advocating for a child because maybe the parent is not there, you know. But the big thing is being instrumental in everything that your child is doing, getting them involved. If there's sports at school, if they're not into sports, whatever it may be active so that they don't see you just when the child gets in trouble, but they also see you on a positive note, so they can call you and say, hey, you know, Johnny had a good day, or, you know, something of that sort.
Alrighty, so when we come back from our break, we're going to get more into what the IEP plan and 504 plan includes. What are some typical, I guess, questions or things that the students will have to. Now, are these tests the students take on their own, or is it a teacher conducted?
Listen, IEP testing is requested, and it's an individualized test. And I know we have to go to break, but IEP stands for Individualized Education Program, which is a program that's based specifically on that one child, based on their needs.
Okay, so when we come back from our break, we're going to get more in detail about what these tests include. So please stay tuned, everyone, and we'll be right back after these announcements. We're speaking with Mr. Shamal Carter from Mid-South Health Systems. You don't want to miss today's show, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Do you know what it takes to fill your wife's heart with life and love? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. We often associate the heart with love, but practically speaking, the heart sustains life. It needs all four chambers working right. My wife Susan and I believe that there are four chambers in every wife's heart that fill her with life and love. The first chamber of a wife's heart is to be understood, even when you don't agree on everything. Your good listening skills help her to see you're trying to understand her, not just hear her. Try repeating back what you heard her say and what you think she means. To learn more about the three other chambers of your wife's heart, visit my blog at markmerrill.com. Remember, your family first.
Want to connect with Mark on Twitter? You can. Follow him at twitter.com/markmerrill.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Attention members and guests, the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated presents Animal Instinct, the post-game party, Saturday, September 16th after the A-State UAPB football game at Legends Barbecue Smokehouse, 1025 West Johnson Avenue in Jonesboro, from 9 o'clock p.m. until 1 o'clock a.m. This is a 21 and up event. A portion of the proceeds will benefit the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. More information is available via any member of the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
When life takes a wrong turn, what do you do? When things are looking at their worst, who do you turn to? KLEK 102.5 FM and Massey Productions presents the inspirational gospel stage play, To Hell and Back, a story that will inspire you, renew and reaffirm your faith, featuring performers from all over Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana. One big show, 12 noon, Saturday, September 16th, at the Epic Center, 1899 County Road 333, Hasbrook Road in Jonesboro. Tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door, and can be purchased at KLEK, Cool Cuts, the Epic Center, or by calling 870-277-1080. Bring the entire family Saturday, September 16th, before the A-State UAPB game, to the Epic Center to see the inspirational gospel stage play, To Hell and Back.
This event is a KLEK fundraiser.
Meineke of Jonesboro is now Stark's Auto Service, a full-service auto repair and vehicle maintenance center offering engine and transmission repair, brake service, tires, oil changes, and more, performed by ASE certified mechanics. The all-new Starks Auto Service, 2813 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro, 870-204-7112. Starks Auto Service, Jonesboro.com.
The McDaniel Law Firm, 400 South Main Street in Jonesboro, is a firm believer in justice and equality for the minority community. The McDaniel Law Firm has fought for our rights for over 44 years. The McDaniel Law Firm offers legal help for wrongful death as well as trucking and automobile accidents. Bobby and Brett McDaniel are available for a free consultation at 870-336-4747 or at www.mcdaniellawyers.com. Check out Melvin Williams of the Williams Brothers every Sunday morning from 5 to 7 a.m. here on KLEK for the Melvin Williams Down Home Gospel Radio Show, playing the very best in quartet and inspirational gospel music that you'll love, as well as feature interviews with all of your favorite gospel artists. It's Melvin Williams Down Home Gospel Radio Show, Sundays from 5 to 7 a.m. on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Support for KLEK is brought to you by
Fullness of Joy Ministries, 2120 Thorn Street, Jonesboro, under the direction of Bishop Adrian Rogers and co-pastor Susan Rogers. www.fjministries.org.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Harden, along with my special guest, Mr. Shamal Carter from Mid-South Health Systems. And today we're going to be talking more about IEP, which is an individualized education program, and the 504 plan, which are various placement tests and things that students go through to see where they are education-wise and curriculum-wise, and he's going to go more in detail. He can explain this way better than I can, so I'm going to let him have at it, so go for it.
Thank you so much. Like she was saying, the IEP is the Individualized Education Program, and it's a process. There are several steps in getting an IEP. The first step is a pre-referral. Your pre-referral is the first phase in which administrators document everything that the student is challenged with. During this phase, they also test the effectiveness of the classroom accommodations in which they offer the children, and they offer modifications as well. The test, it checks the effectiveness of what they're doing. It allows interventions, and then for the child to be monitored and how the progress is going. After the pre-referral stage, if nothing assisted that child or helped that child while they were going through that phase, we go to the referral stage, and it comes from the parents, a family service worker, or anybody that's working with that child that feels they need this help. And then after referral becomes the identification stage, and it defines the disability and whether the services are required, which is the testing and the evaluations, etc. After identification, there's eligibility, and then after finding out that you're eligible, you develop the team develops an IEP plan. In the IEP plan, it consists of accommodations that you'll need that work in the pre-referral stage, and then the school district begins to implement the IEP plan. After implementing it at the beginning of the year, they'll evaluate it, see how can it be effective, and at the end of the year they'll review it to see how it was effective and how to carry over into the next year. Okay.
All right. So going through this process, when they get to the, eligibility to the implementation part, have you found that most teachers follow the recommendations and they really monitor the child to see where they are, so by the end of the year review they have a really great picture, a good picture of how that child progressed?
Because this is not just Jonesboro School District. It's like a nationwide thing. They have to. Okay. You have to follow the plan. That way your child can be it can receive the assistance it needs. Okay. The individualized plan is pretty much stating this is what my child needs to be successful in the public school system. So yes, they follow it. The school system that I've worked with, I cover 7 counties. And so in the school system that I've worked with, they, once they're the IEP set, they follow it. It's just, you have to, as a parent, you have to stay on top of it. Okay. You have to stay on top of them, allowing them to say, okay, the parent is involved. So some people may become lax, and because the child is so troubled, and so they just, okay, well, we did IEP last year. What worked last year may work this year, so we're just going to push this through. And we don't want that. So that's how you get the parents involved, and you get everybody, so you can build a team. That's the biggest part about it, is building a team to help the child be successful.
And I must say, and I'm very sad to say, that I, knew nothing about this, or if I did, I didn't follow up. My child transitioned from public school to alternative school, but it wasn't because of behavior, it was because of grades. And not to speak ill of any of the teachers, there were some really great teachers out there and some other administration that were really great, but I do feel that he didn't get the best I'm not for the best education. I wish there were some things that were done a little different. But I know, again, the responsibility falls on me as the parent to stay more proactive. And so how do you keep the parents, or how do you go about trying to keep the parents engaged?
The first question I ask is, are you being effective in your child's life?
Okay.
A lot of parents don't want to fail because parenting is one of the biggest jobs we'll ever have.
Yes.
Even after our children become grown, parenting is one of those jobs that you just you'll never know enough about it.
Yeah.
So the first initial thing that I suggest when I'm talking to a parent is, your child is a reflection of you. So when Johnny's acting up or doing whatever he's doing, then it's an issue.
Yes.
So he's reflecting you. So I say your reputation precedes itself in the school system.
Wow.
As a parent, you go in to fight for your child, but your fight is ineffective because why? Because they see you as a whole. If you're in there cussing and acting a fool, guess what? Nothing is going to get accomplished.
Okay.
Nothing will get accomplished.
Oh, wow. Okay. Never mind. Alrighty then. I never thought about it like that, and I wish that more parents would, like you said, not only go to the school when your child comes home and complain about, say they were mistreated or treated unfairly, but also fight for your child when it comes to their education, because at some point they're going to be a working adult.
Yes.
Hopefully. We want them to be a successful and productive adult, but they need that foundation when they're younger, going from K through 12.
Think about it in this manner. You hear people say all the time, our youth is our future for tomorrow.
Okay.
If your future for tomorrow can't play football, I'm one of those who was like, hey, I'm the athlete, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But if he can't play football, if he can't play basketball, then how is he our future? Because that's what we're pushing our families. We're pushing athletics. But if they are great athletics, if they're great athletes, but they have horrible grades, then, he can be an all-star athlete, all-American athlete in high school, but working in a factory next week because he didn't have the grades to get into the school that he needed to.
Okay. So we as a whole, and I say we as a community, as families, are not building our children up in the right way necessarily. We need to instill in them that there's more to life than sports. Sports is not the only way to get your ticket out of.
Of course.
And in our case, we work with individuals that live in lower income, underprivileged areas, and some people do feel like sports is your way out of the life, but there's other things that can take you out.
There is. I come from Old Wynn, Arkansas. I was a Yellow Jacket, and that was my thing. Sports was going to get me out, but God had a different direction, a different path for me, and advocating is something that I love to do. And being there for these families. So I'll be the first to say, even in my motivational speaking, I tell people, let sports be your last resort.
Okay.
Education being number one, and transitioning that phase into allowing sports in academics to put you in a position to be more successful. Because if you don't have the academics, then you're not going anywhere in sports anyway.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. I would love to see being smart being cool again. So, and that's just me. So, okay, so now let's get into the 504 plan.
Okay.
And how does it go along with the IEP plan, the IEP program?
It is. It was actually brought about around 1970.
Okay.
That they brought it out along with the IEP plan. And it's a little different from the IEP.
Okay.
Their different 504 plan is not as in depth as the IEP plan. As far as the 504 plan, why you wouldn't qualify for it, you do not fall into recognized categories with certain disabilities. IEP is more focused on autism, hearing impairment, emotionally distraught children, or intellectual disabilities, or multiple disabilities. That's where your IEP come in at. What makes you qualify is you have a physical and mental impairment that limits your activities.
Okay.
It's not as permanent as an IEP.
Okay.
And you have a record of impairment, or you could be identified through your impairment.
Okay. And then so with this plan, what does it entail? I mean, or how does it help or hinder a child?
I'm sorry, say it again.
I'm sorry, I guess. Okay, how does it help, or what does it do to
the 504?
Yes.
It'll assist with testing.
Okay.
Modified tests or accommodations that you'll need on campus.
Okay.
That's more so what the 504 is for. The IEP focuses on a whole your education period. It's
Okay.
more so special education.
Okay. Now, do you feel that some students are placed in special education unnecessarily? Because of how they tested at that moment. Some children are going to be who they are. They're going to react and act in certain ways, and they might shut down, and they might not talk to you, or they may give you some off the wall answers, or depending on how the testing goes. Do you feel that some students have been placed in special education unnecessarily, or not enough students, or students who really need it have not gotten the services that they need?
It all goes back to in the very beginning of the show when we were talking about how the parents are not involved.
Okay.
Not enough students, maybe. Placed there for different reasons. Yeah, I believe that.
Okay.
I do think if the parent does the review, as I stated about the IEP, they do a review as well as they do a review and an evaluation. If the parent is a part of that process, then you don't have to worry about your child being lost as far as being in that program.
Okay.
Getting that individualized program. It's more so being connected with them and working it. That's why I say you have to be involved. If you're not involved, then of course your child will be lost in it. And sometimes kids grow out of these stages, and if we don't work with them, then we never know. So they don't learn because they're just pushed through each time.
Okay. Now, when it comes to I don't want to speak bad about the alternative school that we have here. There are some great teachers in the system. What I would love to see, though, are teachers, people who are getting to the teaching field that love to teach, that love to reach out to students, and that have a desire and a passion to help each child grow into their potential.
I understand that, and we all go to school for what we feel we want to do with our life.
Yes.
And I honestly, in the beginning, I can't blame the teachers.
Okay.
My wife's a teacher, and I put more so blame on how our teachers are treated.
Yes. Okay.
Even in ALE, if the teachers had a better support system, such as myself or the people around us, then they would be more prompted to assist these children. But if they don't have a support system and you're giving them extra work, by giving them IEP students or 504 students, put them in an alternative learning, even though it's a smaller classroom, it's a self-contained class, you're giving them more work.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're giving you more work, but we're not going to give you more money.
Yes.
So I think it's not that the teachers don't want to be there for the children. I just think it's like they're overwhelmed.
Okay.
Because a lot of times you have children in the classroom with 30, 35 kids. And you got to think, if you have 10 students in there that have IEP or whatever, then, now it's like, okay, I have to focus on everybody. I can't just focus on one person.
Okay.
But this child has an individualized program, so I have to give him what he needs because this is state regulation. This is what I have to do. The Board of Education said I have to be there for him. So they get frustrated. You got to think they're in school for months, you know.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. So again, we as parents, as the community, need to start rallying behind the teachers, advocating for the students. We need to all come together, even if you're not the parent, caregiver, guardian of a child. If you live in a community with a child and you know them and you watch them grow up, they need to be more. Would you advise people like that to be more active as well in the child's life?
Think about it like this. Before, back when our parents and our grandparents grew up,
okay,
if I got in trouble at school, and my family, they implemented this with me.
Okay.
If I got in trouble at school, then when I got home, grandma got me. And then when mama got home from work, mama got me.
Yeah.
And then granddaddy got me when he got home from work. It takes a community to raise a child because we don't know what our kids are doing. If you're like myself, I work a lot.
Okay.
So if you're like myself and I'm always at work, I wouldn't know what my children was doing, you know, beyond what their mom tells me, or, you know, if they're in sports, beyond what their coaches tell me.
Wow.
But as a community, if I say, hey, son, you can go to this party, and there's chaperones at this party, and they say, hey, you know, Shamal, we saw Nevaeh drinking, or we saw Tatiana or Brianna, we saw them drinking, you know, like, okay, at this point I say, okay, thank you. And I can address it before, you know, just a drink at a party become alcoholism or becomes drug abuse. You know, a community is going to have to raise our society now because you have so many single-parent homes. You have so many parents that are just existing and not parenting.
Yes, a lot of hands-off parenting going on. I used to tell people all the time, if you see my son, get him and then tell me about it. And my son knew, and he still knows, there are a lot of people that know me from previous jobs and other things that I've done in the community. So it's not a whole lot he can get away with that I won't find out about. I may not always say something to him now that he's older, but then when he was younger, he'd get home. How was your day? What have you heard? Who told you? So I'm like, so you're telling off on yourself.
Right.
Yes, we do have to be more proactive in reaching out to other people's kids. And we have to not be afraid to reach out because some children might say, you're not my parent. You can't tell me what to do.
Right.
I know that's another thing that some teachers face when they deal with these children. They have these attitudes, behaviors, and some teachers now, they get a little hands off, like, okay, well, just whatever, do whatever you're gonna do.
You know, and my thing with that, and I have 2 points to make on that. My thing, it starts at home.
Okay.
Because I've seen families and I've seen children that, now they can't tell you what to do, and this is the parent. You know, you better not, you know what I'm saying, tell them they ain't your mama or whatever the case may be. So then when you get that builds up a defiance in that child. So with that child becoming defiant, when he goes to school, it shows. And then when mom is being called because she told you ain't got to listen to, you know, your friend's mama because she's not your mama, it carries over into school. But another point I would like to make is with the IEP testing, it's a positive and it's a negative.
Okay.
The negative side to that is once parents get their child into this thing and they get it rolling and things are going the way it should go, the child sometimes grow out of it. Okay. They may receive assistance from the government, SSI check.
Okay.
And a lot of parents, instead of saying, okay, my child no longer needs these services,
okay,
they continue and they push this IEP so they can continue to be compensated because they're using their child's disability as a way of gaining a financial means. And that's just...
It's disservice to the child, for one, because you're keeping them in this program that they no longer need because they have excelled above it, and if they're still in this program, from what I'm understanding, they're not going to get the next level of education or care they need to continue on because they're still stuck in this bubble.
I actually spoke with someone, came in my office to talk to me about something, and it's really, man, it kind of hit home with me.
Okay.
One thing that got me was, she said, my son has been receiving services since he was 5 years old.
Okay.
She said when he was 9, he was put in ALE.
Okay.
He was passed on from ALE until he graduated. He graduated high school. Once he graduated high school, he could not hold down a job because cognitively, or mentally rather, he was not stable enough because he didn't learn what he needed to learn because he was pushed through the system.
Oh, wow.
As he got older, he dealt with other things beyond ADHD or ADD or, the common things that they put children on IEPs for or 504s.
Okay.
As he got older, he began to deal with major depression.
Oh, wow.
He began to deal with things because he felt like he didn't fit into society because he was not as smart as your average 18-year-old.
Wow.
Later on, now he's receiving services and he's getting that help that he needs. But you're at a position now where you as a parent, you have to say, I failed because my kid didn't receive what he needed. And I honestly can't push him now because he's grown. All I can do is be there for him. So do I take the blame for it? Or do I say, no, I'm not going to take the blame for it, but we're going to work together to get this right? That's a big thing.
You've been spying on my life. Oh, wow. We need to have a talk after this. Like, I totally get it. I went through some things in my personal life that pushed me back from being the full hands-on parent I started out being. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, I take the blame for where I dropped the ball and where my son was lacking in his education. Mm-hmm. A lot of parents will say, well, it's their responsibility. They need to go to school. I can't go to school for them. I can't do their work for them. But at the same time, we are our children's biggest cheerleaders. And so we have to advocate for them at all times. When we come back from break, we're going to finish talking about how can we, I know we've stated before, but we need to drive it home. How can we be our kids' biggest supporters, biggest cheerleaders, advocate for the school system, for the teachers, everyone as a whole? So we're going to wrap up with those comments when we come back. Please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. After these messages, we'll be right back.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. Our Think Wealthy quote of the week comes from veteran financial journalist Ali Velshi, host of Real Money with Ali Velshi on Al Jazeera America, and co-author with fellow financial journalist Christine Romans of How to Speak Money, the language and knowledge you need now. Velshi says, I'm frustrated with people who say they don't understand money and don't understand investing, but who also never made any effort to learn. I would suggest to you that investment risk, people's biggest fear, goes down exponentially based on how much you learn about how money works. Once you have a basic understanding, it's a lot less scary. None of us were born with the understanding of money and investing. I can assure you I did not grow up learning about money management, real estate investing, and the stock market at our kitchen table. I became an expert on money because I committed to learning it for both personal and professional benefit. Make financial education your personal priority. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to uncompromising commitment to communities, service, leadership, empowerment. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
KLK 102.5 FM is giving away $102.50 to one lucky listener. That's right, KLK is giving back to you, our faithful listeners, as thanks for your support. Did I mention that we're giving away $102.50? I bet you're wondering, how can I win the money? Well, I'll tell you. It's quite easy, actually. Just come to our live broadcast Saturday, September 9th from 3 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. We'll be broadcasting live from Mrs. Polly's Motivational Barbecue CAB on the corner of Nettleton Avenue and Caraway Road in Jonesboro. We also want to thank Mrs. Polly's for sponsoring our giveaway. Their motto is, we do it for you. And we're doing it for you, Jonesboro. We're giving away $102.50 Saturday, September 9th. You want the money? Don't meet us there, beat us there. Danny Ford, owner of Glen Sane Motors in Paragould, strongly believes in the values of family and hard work with a commitment to the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces who keep America free, providing sales and servicing of Chevys, GMCs, Buicks, and Cadillacs, located at 6345 Highway 49 in Paragould. 870-565-4358. Details at glensaneparagould.com and at klekfm.org. God bless our troops.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
Arkansas Early Learning prepares children up to 5 years old for kindergarten by offering a secure learning environment, qualified teachers at several locations in Northeast Arkansas at no cost. Applications are available at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
From the KLEK Community Calendar, there will be a free community workout every Sunday and Tuesday starting at 6 o'clock p.m. at Allen Park, and every Thursday night also starting at 6 o'clock p.m. at Parker Park. More information is available via Arlesia Baker at 870-273-3437.
KLEK is starting a new fundraiser which will allow listeners to donate to KLEK while buying groceries. KLEK is a part of the Kroger Community Rewards fundraising program. When shoppers visit a participating Kroger and scan his or her Kroger Plus shoppers card, a portion of the savings goes back to KLEK to help keep it on the air. Details on how to sign up for the program are available at KrogerCommunityRewards.com and at klekfm.org. This is a KLEK fundraiser.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to the last portion of Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I am your host, Kabila Hardin, and I've been speaking with Mr. Shamal Carter from Mid-South Health Systems. And we've been talking about the IEP program and the 504 plan. And so we're going to recap very quickly and then move on to just some final thoughts on how the community, the parents can come together to really help each child succeed and progress in life. Yeah.
First off, I want to start by saying that as a parent, our children did not choose who their parents were.
No.
If we could choose who our parents were, Barack and Michelle would be my parents. But on a more serious note, our children didn't choose us, but we chose our children. For whatever reason, whether it was out of pleasure or whether it was planned, we said we wanted our children. So until they're no longer with us, we're responsible for them. Their education reflects on you.
Okay.
If we as parents are not very involved, if we as parents are not hands-on, involved is not just buying computers and you know, sending them to classes and camps and stuff. That's not being involved. Involved is sitting down talking with your children. Involved is talking with the parents. Involved is talking with the students and the administrators on developing a relationship and making it easier for your child to transition through the public school system.
Okay.
Nobody's going to give you anything. Nothing is going to be free. Right. If your child has had behavior issues in the past, before the school's radar go to dinging, as a parent, you need to be up there. Okay, what is it? Is it my child? Is it his teacher? Is it me? Do we need to seek mental health assistance? Okay. And if you do, then that's fine, because mental health is not a bad thing.
Yes.
The community is so stuck on it being a stigma and it being a negative in our society that we honestly get pushed back from it. So many people lose family members because they're afraid of what the community is going to say.
Wow.
At this point, I have advice for everybody. Number one, Your child is a reflection of you. So whatever you wouldn't do, don't expect your child not to do it. Meaning, if you're going to go out in club, expect your child to be ready to go to a party every weekend. If you don't get up and go to work, don't expect your child to want to get up and go to work. Okay. They're a reflection of you. Number 2, all attention is not good attention. If you're negative and all the time yelling, cussing, then expect your child to be yelling and cussing. Okay. And number 3, don't let the school system decide where your child goes. But you be very, very instrumental in everything, in the process of everything. If it's behavior, then get on top of the behavior. I was raised old school, and spankings don't work on all children. Studies show that spankings make our children more defiant. But our culture is very against that. They're like, I'm going to whoop my kids, but my mama whoop me. Spankings are not bad, but sometimes they don't work.
Yes.
Taking things away, sometimes it doesn't work. So you have to work to build a system, a program to help your child be more successful. Just like I get up every day and go to work. Okay. Just like you go to work. When it comes to our children, they're our job 24/7. Wow. Until they get out of college and get their life and they start going wherever they're going to go, they're our job. That's our career.
Never thought about it like that.
We as parents, we have to be very, very involved. If you're not involved, your child gets brushed under the rug. And then you're wondering why he's in and out of jail at 16. You're wondering why he has F's in all of his core classes. You're wondering why he can recite every rap song, but he can't say his ABCs. Wow. It's because us as parents, and I said us as parents because I'm a parent as well. And before I began to do research, before I got in depth in it, I learned the hard way is if I'm not involved, then my child will not get the help he needs. The school system, it's a public school system. They're paid an average of $36,000. So we have to give them what we can give them.
That's right. Be
Be involved. Push your children. Okay. Help with homework. Don't wait until they're 18 to take the ACT.
Amen.
don't wait until they're grown before they take the ACT.
That's right.
And that's all I have. That's all I have.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming and sharing all your information. And we're going to definitely have you back again to talk about some other issues. I would love to, pick up more. When you talked about the discipline thing, I'm actually going to have some individuals from the Hippie program come. Even though they work with children on the lower end, the 3 and 4 and 5 year olds, I think starting early with discipline helps to build as the child gets older. It builds character, it builds discipline within them as they get older. And so maybe we can have you come back though and talk about discipline older children. So we'll work something out. We're definitely going to have you back again because we have some other topics. And that mental health one, oh my gosh, that is so important. We hear mental illness and we think, oh my gosh, we hear depression, anxiety. Oh my God, we freak out because we don't understand it. Okay, I'm not going to get on my soapbox today. But I thank you so much for coming by. Again, if you have any questions for Mr. Shamal, you can reach him at 870-972-4030 at Mid-South Health Systems. And we'll make sure to leave this information on our KLEK Facebook and Instagram pages so you can reach out to him with any questions. So mental health, what does your letter stand for? MHPP.
Mental health paraprofessional.
Okay.
Family support provider.
He can answer almost any question you have, I promise. So, I hope everyone has a very blessed and great Friday. Happy Friday, y'all.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council.